Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay
everyone?
calm.
What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Wait.
Everybody just calm down.
Help!
Here,
Oh,
take my hand.
ah!
Come on. You're gonna fall unless you take my hand.
No, give me your other hand.
Oh, my other hand isn't strong enough. You take my little hand.
No, get it away from me!
Take it. Take my hand.
I hear the train a-comin', it's rollin' round the bend.
You speak as though I have conquered death. I live death every day. I am surrounded by it, smothered by it. Look at you now. He would have everlasting life. You seek to defy death. You cannot even defy sleep. And our like sleep is to death. It is a painted death.
Sombercroft tonight in the dark. It's we are 12 hours in where I've had my butt planted to this chair. I've gotten up, get a cup of tea, go to the bathroom, have something to eat. But yeah, this is the life. This is the day. I see Timescales is in the chat. I had a chat with him. God, was it yesterday? Everything blurs. Must have been yesterday. And I was telling him, I work 2 full-time jobs. Now I'm going to get started again. I actually started before work, but here we are again. I'll be doing some coloring tonight. Easy stuff. Just a little bit of cut and grad. But I wanted to come on because I probably, I don't know how much I'll be able to stream over the next couple of days. And we have something to celebrate. Before we do that, let's say hello to some people here in the chat. McGregor is here. He was first here. Unfortunately for McGregor, we don't really do the first on the draw streams. But thank you for being in here and being first. It was last night, man. Thank you. Everything's a blur. I had a great conversation with Nawal this morning. That was so much fun. Make sure you go check that out afterwards. Arthur Line is here. Jeremy Burtz. D-Wag in the house. Haldir saying hello. How's your father? Says, looks hot. Talking about Gilgamesh not committing necrophilia. I mean, he gave him a kiss on the side of the cloth. Maybe it was on the skin. I don't know. Definitely not necrophilia. There is Timescales. Greeting from San Francisco. I will actually be stopping in San Francisco on the way through to Houston, on the way through to Jacksonville, but I doubt I'll be able to leave the airport because I don't think I'll be able to leave customs. Noran Rad is here. Who else? Frankly, Biker Angelo. Howdy. I just said Moromi, didn't I? Man, it gets weird after you've been 12 hours in. It gets weird, I tell you what. William Wellborn's here. Junk 666. Christopher. My beautiful dark twisted Fago tree. Your live notification woke me up. Thanks. Well, I hope you got a good little nap or sleep wherever you are in the world. Was Darkcroft not PC enough? Says Dreadgaze. I'm trying to cash in on the Dark Gift. Joe Ball in the house says congratulations, absolute success and victory in record time. I'm chasing you, my friend. I'm chasing you in all things. Backers, number, drawtism level. I don't know if I'll be able to match you, but the chase is on nonetheless. How you going, Simply Green? There it goes. Knew there'd be a stream by someone at some point tonight. Oh, it's been pretty quiet, hasn't it? Ethan streamed for half an hour and he said, I'm going to get back to drawing. There's something going on. There's something in the air. I don't know what it is. If you're wanting to, build up your channel, get some live stream numbers, now's probably the time. Not right now, but now in general. SnarkCon says the next thing to get smashed will be bankrupt by Camel. No, it won't be happening. Well, I don't know. I won't be able to get out of customs. I don't think. I'll be in the airport. Mo Biggs in the house. Bancroft schedule to stop in San Francisco for the Gilgamesh and Enkidu research purposes. Snark, sorry. Hen, no, I'm not at 665. We'll chat. Hey, Jasper, how you going? Check it out. Let's have a look. It's getting pretty close, though. Close-ish. Watch the numbers tick up. 45,693, 574. Less than 100 away from 666, Hen. So, close. And they seem to be coming in at a steady clip. I have no complaints. My goodness. I have to admit, I was a little bit worried. I didn't know how the site would go. Because, obviously, I'm responsible for driving all traffic to this and anyone else who shares it out. And I know a lot of you have been. Thank you very much. But there's no kind of foot traffic. There's no ancillary sunbeams shining from somewhere else that you would get on another platform. So I have no complaints. My goodness, it's been hundreds of dollars every day. So, and when I went on Flash, that was like 3,000. It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy indeed. So yeah, we did smash the Eric Weathers. Actually, I won't show you that. You know what I'll show you? Mel. I put Mel to work on the site. Check this out. The update section at the homepage, all fully decked out. I even made it so her name appeared. Hold on. Her name appeared under the thing as the author of the update. I said, the people need to know. You're the one who wrote this. A stop in San Francisco to prepare for Cal, to prepare my body junk. Life is just a bunch of lines, says Joe Ball. It would be to you, I imagine. Let's click on it, shall we? Beautiful big Ella, drawn by O. Ren. Thanks to your support, the campaign blew right past 45,000. I'm so happy to get Eric back on the book. He did an incredible job on Waking Dream. Actually, I wrote this, but Mel posted it. So maybe I'll get Mel to write them. Unbelievably, we can now begin thinking about the $50,000 stretch goal, which, if my calculations are correct, are about $4,400 away, which will be to hold the very first Lucent fan art contest. Still working out the details, but it will be a hefty cash prize for the winner. I don't know if it'll be as hefty as Camel's. He had like $1,500. Definitely won't be as hefty as John's, who I think had 3K or something. But hefty nonetheless. Sizable. Large. Jasper says, congrats. Snark says, Mel is the webmaster now, so now you have to mow the lawns. I didn't give her full permissions. She doesn't have permission to change the bank account to her bank account, start filtering money away. She also doesn't have the permission to kick me off my own site. But everything else she can do, she can edit products and stuff like that if need be, if I need her help, which I will in the coming months. Jason's in the house. Had a great stream with Jason the other week over on Unhinged Entertainment. Jason and Angela. Congrats on all the success so far. Thank you very much, Jason. Thank you for the super chat as well. Simply Green says running a crowdfunding site alone would be a handful. Be interesting if, say, Fund My Comic expanded to a community, forum, stream, links embedded, website links. A forum would be cool. An OG forum. I used to love the Threadless forum. It was my haunt. It was where I lived on the internet. It was the Threadless forum. Oh, it was fantastic. And then Trump happened. Everyone decided I was a white supremacist all of a sudden. Go figure. I'm going to tell Boob Dan to draw Ella so we can finally free the nip. Maybe I'll make that a stipulation of the fan art. No nipples. The weirdest stipulation, the weirdest fan art rules ever. You're going to have so many Kumin Gilgamesh fan art entries. I hope so. McShort's in the house. Jason is out of here. Thank you so much, man. All right. Old school was mostly IRC for me. That goes way back. Quickest way to get take us down a site, put a forum on it. That's probably true. How could Darkcroft possibly be a white? I know, right? They had me wrong. You know, it started out with just, you know what? I don't think Trump's that bad. and then, you know, within a month, I was the me and two other artists who'd been on the site for years, 4 years, friendly with everyone. Everyone was cool. There was never any issue. And then within a few months, we were pretty much clan members, according to them. So, my friend used to win Threadless contests. You might know him, Mike. I'll have to look it up. Yeah, well, if he used to win, I probably would know him. Yeah. It was a pretty tight-knit group of us guys who were, you know, we were the elites. All right. But I put out that update, put out that email. I had to put out an email because I uploaded 5 new sketch cards today, just before I went live on Narwhal's. And Narwhal brought the campaign up, and 2 of the Ella ones were already sold. And then the Gilgamesh one sold. That went to Jake. He celebrated getting the Necrophilia card. And then the other 2 sold in short order. I think they were all sold in 10 minutes or something. Something 9 that is very familiar. Very familiar. I would have to access. I think I closed down my old Instagram account. You know, I'm sure I was following them all. Have you lifted Shane Davis today? What do you mean lifted? Lifted him up? Given him a compliment? Micro says, yeah, Australia was crazy for the 2016 election. I remember seeing reports of Australian call centers calling Americans on behalf of Bernie Sanders. It was pretty nuts. The day after Trump was elected, it was so funny to be in the office as it was happening, because it was our day. It was our work, you know. While all the results are coming in for you guys at night, it was our daytime. So the disbelief in the in the office was a thing to behold. The following day, the whole company there was a meeting, a sort of a big cope session about, hey, if you need to talk to anyone about this is really scary, and yeah, you know, we're here for you. It was pretty crazy. All right. Yeah, so I hope if you wanted a sketch card, you got one. They sold quick, but there'll be another 5 coming at the next week, same time next week. But hey, if you were into original art, there's still 3 Rod Looper pages left. Oh, and speaking of the t-shirt, I got a call today from the t-shirt guy, which is very encouraging. He called me up. He's like, hey, love the design. It's going to look great. We're going to use a Plastisol Inks 9th wheel. Okay, now that isn't really ringing bells. I'm going to Google him, see if I know him. 9th wheel. 9th wheel threadless. Let's have a look. Matt Lane is the 9th wheel. Funnily enough, no. Oh, is that him? This guy was before my time. I have this T-shirt. Hold on a sec. Hold up. Where is it? Yeah, I have this T-shirt. It's the Emperor Penguin. That's actually one of the first ones I ever bought. But he was a little bit before my time. There you go. Small world, huh? Yeah, he called me up and he was like, just want to give you a little bit of a rundown on how we're going to print it and how he thinks where there might be some small issues. I mean, not issues with the T-shirt, just, like what to expect. Because I said to him, oh, I've actually printed T-shirts, so I really do know what to expect. I said, oh, okay, it's cool. But, it's not exactly one for one. Obviously, it's not like printing offset or anything. It's ink on fabric. There's going to be some, across a print run, there's, things happen. So, but that's the beauty of T-shirt printing, I find. That's what makes it special. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, that Emperor Penguin one, that was massive, I remember. That's a cool thing. So back in the day on Threadless, this is how I got into doing this stuff here, right? Was through Threadless. That's how I really improved on my art, was through competition, manly competition, meritocracy, and got better at design, color, appealing to the audience, all that sort of stuff. Can't remember where oh yeah, so what would happen is you would win a prize for, I think it was at $2,500 was the regular prize if you won the competition, whatever that competition was. And also they used to pick a handful of people every month just to print random T-shirts, and you would get a fee. And then if you sold over a certain amount, you get royalties. That's pretty cool. We've got 9 Realms in the house. We missed King Camel streams already. What do you mean? He's streaming. He will be taking a short break. And tracing. Lots of tracing, obviously. Where will we be without it? All right. All right. I think that's all I have. I think that's all I have to say about that. Really looking forward to putting on a fan art competition, but I don't know exactly how that's going to go. What we're going to do with it. Oh, I forgot to say we are live on Rumble as well. There's Rumblers over there watching, lurking. Hello, Rumblers. Let's stop this and get to some work. I will just be hanging out, doing. Yep. Some of you might remember me drawing this stuff from ages ago. Feels like it was a lifetime ago. Guy from Red Rank, Bancroft, do you work independently? Why does your line art look familiar? Maybe you've seen it before. I don't know. It's been around a while. Could be that. I share it around a lot. Not really sure. Bancroft keeps releasing Gilgamesh sketch cards when I'm away from my computer, so they get sold before I can get one. I will organize one just for you. I know the exact one that I think you would like. I will do that, Michael. I thought about that, but then I thought I think I might have to just do one special for you. I think that's what we're going to have to do. So at the moment, I'm just going to start dropping in what I call, it's not what I call it. I mean, I don't know if other people call it, but they are called Terminator lines. They're essentially, I like to draw them into, other people like to lasso them. Is that how you say that? Now I can't remember how to say that word. I like to paint them in. I think it's easier a lot of the time. But these are what I'll use to do the gradations with later. We have PTP in the house. He says, Michael says, hell yes. He says, congrats. Thank you so much, Patrick. Man, I'm so looking forward to, it's getting close now, to Tampa. And I was just telling everyone, Patrick, that I spoke to the t-shirt guy today. He's printing me up 35 t-shirts, special colors. So not the colors that you see on the campaign. For so that I can take to Tampa and sell them there. It's going to be nice. And any I don't sell, I can just put up on the campaign page, I think. It's probably the way to go. Tampa, Tampa. You know it. Guy from Red Bank says, it reminds me of an Image comic book series, but I don't know which one. I get that occasionally. You know, people say that, oh, this really reminds me of something. Almost inevitably, I've never heard of it, never seen it. And when I go investigate, I don't really think it looks too much like it. But it's just usually something that, you know, all it can be is just something that reminds, you know, them of something. I don't know. I mean, my style is very simplified on purpose. That's, you know, that's a choice. And it's because I want to be able to do the artwork as well as I possibly can, as quickly as I possibly can. Snuck says Florida was too hot for him when he was skinny as a kid. Yeah, it's gonna be hot, but I mean, we'll be in the convention, we'll be in the hotel, it's gonna be fine. So this these highlights I'm putting on, that's obviously not the, you know, the final highlight. It's just it's essentially a mask, pretty much. Not pretty much, it is a mask. KSS says, Bancroft, if Camel says you want to play the Matrix, what do you say? I'll say, is it the Journey of Neo on the PlayStation? Because I love that game. If it's something like that anyway. If it's anything else, yeah, probably not. You know. And plus, Camel's wife will be there. I don't know if he'll be able to get up to any of these shenanigans he's got planned. He talks a big game, but I don't know. And I get in at 11 or so, 11:30 at night. And he's like, yeah, maybe, you know, we can go home and get a bite to eat or something. Like, I mean, I don't know if that's a good idea. Getting a bite to eat at 11. Snark says, protect Reenie from creeps and drugs or I'll get Danny involved. Reni's a big girl. She can defend herself. I won't be with her the whole time. I won't be held responsible for what happens to her in Tampa. Guy from Red Bank says, simplifying is good. I like it. Yeah, I like it too. I can do, complicated stuff. That's what I do on the covers and stuff. But on the interiors, yeah, I like to simplify things a little bit. I like to get pages done. So to that end, Kay says, who doesn't get a bite to eat at 11? Go to the Waffle House. It's an adventure. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'll be jet lagged as it is. What is 11 p.m.? That's actually about my lunchtime. So maybe I will have a bite at 11. And then we're going to drive down the following morning to Tampa, which I think is about a 3 or 4 hour drive. One for young and old. Check into the hotel is at 3. We're probably just going to hang out that day, see where people are hanging, see what they're doing, go out, get a bite, have some drinks, meet some people. The following day, I think PTP has very graciously allocated us a corner of his table. I don't know how big this table is, but Camel and I get a corner. He's probably going to have to sit on my lap. We're going to sign a print that Camel's got. I'm going to try and sell some T-shirts, sell whatever books I take. I'll probably take about 25 books or so. Sign them with a special pen that I don't normally sign in with. Yeah, I think we're coming on the Friday. Yeah, so we'll be there on the Friday. That's when we're arriving. Because I couldn't get there any earlier. Well, because I've been flying into Camels, and he had sort of a window as well. But yeah, we're staying 2 nights at the hotel. Cecil, the Diaz brothers, and you guys are going to switch out. Even Jasper kind of wants to go. You should come, Jasper. Neat. Hold on a sec. Where am I going? No, not fruit. There we go. The fruit comes next. Very important to the story. Maromi says 11 is prime Taco Bell time. We have Taco Bell here now. I don't know how that happened. Taco Bill must be furious. He's probably dead. Yeah. All right, so he's up here. He's having a chin wag. And he's like, hold that thought. I need to go get some grapes. It's grape o'clock. The fruit is important. It's actually mentioned in the script. It's not just a random thing. It's a metaphor. Snark says this whole book is turning into the refrigerator scene from 9.5 Weeks. You will have to remind me, Snark. I don't know if I recall. Metaphor for blue balls. You know what they look like? I just put this together the other day. They look like the member berries, from South Park. They actually look like little member berries. I remember. We got Fanta in the house saying congrats. Jasper's quoting me, the fruit is important. Well, I mean, important is a subjective word. He refers to the fruit. Let's just say that. It was important enough for me to draw. Visual metaphor, Remember TIE fighters? I remember. I will be jumping on with PTP in about a week's time. And I think that's when we're scheduled to go on. I'll be going on Andy Smith's in 3 days at a much more reasonable time. That's what you got to do when your book's live. You go on the press junket. It's been fun. It's been a whirlwind, though. What up, Bogans? Says Sark. We got 45 people watching. Thank you very much. I'm currently doing some preliminary color work on Painted Death. First stages, or the second stage after the flats, really. That's what we're working on here. That I do anyway. Everyone has their own methods for coloring, I've noticed. Camel color's completely different than I do. Oh yeah, you're right, Junk. 45,000 people watching. My mistake. How could I get it so wrong? Shout out to Fanta, who was the target of a most bizarre tweet I saw earlier by one Mike Wheeler, who I don't really know much about. I know by name, but I'm seeing not many people seem to like this guy. Bancroft, when you draw grapes, do you use the grape brush? I wish there was a grape brush. I would use it. I'm waiting to have a chain in the story. Like a sucker, I hand drew the only other chain I ever drew. But yeah, I'm waiting for there to be another chain. No one makes the grape brush. I don't know what it's like a lack of interest or something. Smang that like button. Fanta says, wasn't that crazy? Yeah, it is crazy. It was dumb. It was like, now that Ethan is finally sending out merch, I'm like, but that's the thing he has been sending out the whole time. That's part of what a lot of people complain about. He's been sending out so much merch and not enough books. So that was bizarre. And then they were like, oh, none of his fans want to show their face. What? Anyway, Twitter is a funny place. It tells you what. Funny place. Snarkgun says, please talk Camel into releasing Bluetooth on DVD or Blu-ray. No, I will not be. Yeah, I did miss the Mike and Mindy incident. I guess I just wasn't paying attention. I was there for it, but I didn't know who they were, so I just wasn't paying attention. Nobody did, says J-Max. Fanta says, I swear I'm the way for some people to go at each other. Lol. All I did was post a pic of my new Cyberfrog beanie. Who knew? Yeah. Twitter's going to Twitter. That's all I know about it. I just try and stay out of everything. Try and keep my Twitter very clean best I can. Sometimes it's impossible. Sometimes you're just posting a pic of something nice and then all hell breaks loose. Guy from Red Bank says he doesn't want to talk about Ethan. He made him lose hope for CG, except for Bancroft. Oh my goodness. Well, I hope you will retain. I hope you will regain some of your hope, and at least have some hope for some. Retain your hope for me, at least. What about Rini? Rini never did anything to anyone. She was just on Rippers today. Did a great job. It was like typical Rini. She goes on this massive platform, and I mean, I don't know how many books she has to sell on her website, but I don't know. Is it a lot? You know, well, the point is her campaign is closed down. Hopefully she'll be able to get back on when she's got a live campaign, because that's a big deal. The Rippers fans are passionate and supportive. KSS says Mo really brings the chat room together. What did Mo go to sleep? I stayed up. I was too late for Mo because he was there at the start. Rini is an angel, says Noctagon. I mean, she's all right. I don't know if she's an angel. Jasper says, I'm only backing a few creators these days as well. You should always just back who you want to back. I don't subscribe to the idea of you got to back all these people to prop up the movement or anything like that. No, back books you want. It's better in the long run for everyone. Back creators who are good to you. But I understand. I mean, it gets expensive. I wish I could back more, but I got 5 kids to feed. Not really. Casey says, great. Now I want grapes. I have grapes inside, and I will be having them after dinner. My little treat. My end of the day treat. Some grapes. Meh. Seedless grapes? I don't know if they would have had seedless grapes back then. Moromi. I don't even know if they would have had the fruit that I've shown here, but whatever. It's drawn now. No going back. I'll see how this looks when I put in the gradations. If it looks rubbish, I'll just get rid of all that in the middle. What are you guys saying? The sound of silence? Yeah, I can't talk all the time. How does it feel? How does drawing feel now that you basically have 2 books down? I wouldn't say I basically have 2 books down. I have the majority of 2 books down. But it's gonna feel pretty great when this one is finished, because it's a massive book. It's probably the biggest book I'm ever gonna do. And yeah, that's sort of like doing a book is a thing. Doing 2, that's a whole nother kettle of fish. And yeah, that's gonna feel pretty good, I have to say. Not gonna lie. All right, enough faffing here. Close enough is good enough. Let's do some fruit. Speaking of Nephilims, Red guy from Red Bank is still waiting on Martina's book. Really? I thought that went out ages ago. I didn't back that one. says, don't lie. Rob touched a millionaire snout. It's possible. I actually sent a DM. Do I dare dox Rob's DMs? I don't think he would mind. Let me see if I can. I don't think he would mind. I don't think it's anything bad. And I can't really. Oh, it didn't go through. Oh, then don't worry about it. These stupid Twitter these days, I tell you what. I just sent him a DM today. I said, "You alive?" And he just responded, "Yep." So I sent him a GIF back. Well, I tried to. That just said, "All right, carry on." So at least I have proof of life. I just meant you feel much improved. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I did really struggle in, especially that scene where it's all blue. That was that was hard. Yeah, I feel a lot more confident now. That's for sure. And anytime I'm not confident about something, I'll do a little test panel. I'll write in a little test panel into the story. So if you know, in the first book, at one point they're inside, and it kind of it expands out, and you get to see a sort of top-down view of a little bit of a background cityscape. That's because I wanted to practice, because I knew I had a big cityscape coming up later, and I'm doing my thing where it's like, if I'm drawing it, it's going in the book. So if I'm doing a little test, it's going in the book. That's how it goes. But I feel like I don't have to do that as much these days. Jasper, Rob is he's just done well. He's sick. It's not anything more interesting than that. He has an illness. He will get over it. And then he'll be back. And we'll be able to make fun of him all over again. Oh, that guy is always sick. Yep, I know. Well, he's not dead, says Simply Green, so there's that. Jedi Jagger says, I backed a lot of books when I first found out about CG. Pretty sure I never got a third of them. A third? Oh, that's highly unfortunate. I never heard a number that high. I mean, I didn't receive... Now that I've got Death Swan, I think I didn't receive 2. Shinobi Sasquatch and Detective Dead. Pretty much it. They're the ones I didn't get. Everything else... I mean, I dodged some bullets that others didn't. But a third, that's terrible. Although I did get Cash Grab, which I was promised I would not receive. Well, I apologize if you're in Australia, because then I had a hand in that. Break that way or that way? I can never remember. I think it's going to go that way. Who cares? Oh, yes, Black Flag. Yes, I did back that one. Oh, and Shelby too. Yeah, maybe I do have more than I realize. I didn't get 94. I did get Rage Tality's War though, which hopefully isn't too far off. Critias got your bucks. Yeah, but then I got his artist, so yeah, I backed Detective Dead twice, but I backed it because I was so impressed, not with Critias, with Rod Looper. And I guess the you know, I mean, it's not all's well that ends well, but at least I you know, got something out of that. KSS is waiting on Detective Dead. Don't hold your breath. I implore you. I want you to survive. I want you to live a long life. Anyone out there holding their breath on Detective Dead is not long for this world. That was during the crazy times. I don't much mind late books all that much because I barely have time to read books as it is. But I know a lot of people do. But, you know, as long as they're posting updates all the time, it doesn't really bother me. So, you know, if Reaper Destroy is late, it doesn't bother me. I mean, if it bothers you, that's absolutely your prerogative. Snack says, I got Super Harem. What more is there to life? Did you get the iconic Ziploc bag? That should have become his yeah, he should have really lent into that meme. I think that kind of annoyed him though. Only thing I'm waiting for, says JMax, that I want in my hands already is the first rec campaign because I ordered the sketches. Yeah, I will be cutting off my I'll be cutting off my Ashcan sketches at the end of the first 30 days, I think. probably pretty appropriate. I sold probably more than I thought I would. And, you know, they'll still be available for the next 15 days or so. Yeah, I think the sketches and everything, that's sort of a first 30-day thing. Because eventually it just gets to be too much. Jetto Jargo says, I backed the Black and White Fiendish #1 after Rini was on with Shane and Yanzi, got it a week later. Now everyone is held to those standards. Well, I mean, there is a difference between just selling a book and crowdfunding a book. You know, I think it's not as if people are just, I'm going to take the money and never give you anything. It's usually more of a case of, well, I've got to finish the book. And obviously there's criticisms to be made and anyone who's late on fulfilling their book. But yeah, there's a difference between, you know, someone said, oh, Bancroft got his book out so quick because he bought it off my store. I was like, yeah, but I had it done. You know, there's a little bit of it's not quite the same thing. I wish, you know, Rini is a workhorse though. That's I would never worry about Rini. Rini, Shane, Kelsey. I will be cutting off my ash cans. Yes, correct. Ash cans. I was drawing almost all Sunday. I was getting so much done. I think I put in about a good 12 hours on the book. I was like, man, this would be so good to be able to do this, you know, every day. It's going to take a long time to get there, but I mean, that's the dream. I'm giving Guy from Red Bank some hope back. Yeah, look, that's the thing. I mean, everyone is running their own business and they're all doing it differently, and everyone has a different idea about what this is and how to do it. Everyone. So whatever your some people like me, it doesn't bother me waiting. I'm not even fussed about Black Flag. I know he's working on it. It doesn't bother me that it's that late. But you know, other people, if it really does, and I know it does bother a lot of people, then yeah, you know, you can make your decisions next time accordingly. You know, if you really want the book, wait until it's done. But you know, it is really, everyone is kind of doing their own thing, and I think that's the best way for it too. I don't think that should change. But the people who, everyone's going to kind of, if people screw up too much too often, they're going to feel the wrath of the closed wallet. Simply Green says he backs as much narwhals as he can afford. Yeah. Oh man, I was hanging out with Narwhal today. He's a really good host. I had a lot of fun on Narwhal's show today. Gave me the Narwhal nudge. Evolution 1 says, give me books or give me death. I appreciate the passion, even if I don't necessarily share the sentiment. Still like to be alive, because how can you? I mean, I suppose if you've got no books, then you won't even need to read. If you're dead, you don't need the books. Junk 666 is waiting for the Cyberfrog collected edition. I think I'll have grandkids by then. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm guessing it's probably going to be a while. The collected edition will be with the fourth book, I'm assuming. That's when the current arc concludes, as far as I'm aware. I don't know. How far off are you on your grandkids, Junk? Jasper's out of here. See you, Jasper. Thanks for hanging. Simply Green is surprised by the amount of sci-fi stuff and the chunk of pulp. Thought CG would have more of a traditional superhero focus to begin with. I honestly don't see the superhero stuff really, turning heads in a massive way. I don't know if superhero is all that popular of a genre anymore. I think a lot of people are kind of over it. Well, having said that, when Peregrine came out, that did really well, way above what you would imagine it would have done, because it didn't have, a massive channel attached to it or anything, but it did really well. It did. I had the benefit of looking great, but I don't know how. I still haven't gotten my Peregrine, even though I've been told it's on the way. maybe is it that when you make a new superhero, it's almost impossible to come up with something that doesn't come off as really derivative of someone else, and people just aren't that interested in doing that. Is that a possible explanation? Evolution 1 asks, you think it's becoming oversaturated? When it comes to manga, superpower stuff tends to be the most popular. Dragon Ball, Naruto, and One Piece. Well, I make a distinction between powers and superhero. So, for instance, there's powers in the Lucent, superpowers. I don't call them superpowers. And when people have these abilities, they don't, put on a cape and go out and fight crime with them. I think that's sort of part of what so at least to me, is kind of you're fighting supervillains and crime with your powers in a costume. Dreadgaze says, it is possible to create new superheroes or do them in an original way. The truth is most people just aren't that imaginative. Yeah, I've seen people have a crack at it. Varying levels of success. I guess it wouldn't be what I would go to first. Had I had the choice of what to read, I wouldn't be superhero first, that's for sure. Not anymore. When I was younger. I think Micro hits it on the head. I think a lot of the CG creators, especially the pros, did 20 to 30 years of superhero stuff. Now we're seeing the other stuff they wanted to do but couldn't. Yeah. Having said that, a lot of them are doing that. I think Shane's Extend book, even though it's not, I don't know if he would classify it as a superhero book. It looks like one. That they're wearing outfits. They got powers. Kelsey's book, Shank, is that superhero book? I don't know. I think even Ethan says Cyberfrog is a superhero book. Maybe he says it isn't. I don't know. Can't remember. Obviously, ISOM, yeah, KSS. Oh yeah, there's still a market there for it. Absolutely. From what I'm seeing among the creators, it's not as popular. Seeing a lot of kind of sword and sorcery, sci-fi, horror, a lot of horror, stuff like that. Or just sort of more unique books like fighting books or cybernetic frog books. Fantasy, you know, Groken, godlike, whatever that ends up turning out being. It looks like it could be a little bit superhero, but I'm not sure. I think it's something a bit more epic. Not sure. Writhe and Pain, yeah, that I think that would classify as sort of like your 90s take on a superhero. You know, it's a bit darker, it's a bit more you know, don't know if necessarily if they'll be fighting crime. They're sort of probably fighting demons or something like that, I'm gonna guess. But they still, you know, they're in costume, they have powers. I think that fits. Micro says, I would love to see Graham and Chuck combine for a Batman-esque story again. Well, see, and those guys might just be exactly the kind of guys who are like, no, we want to do something new now. We want to do something different. But yeah, I'm sure they would sell an absolute ton if they did that. Micro says, Ripper's whole line is superhero, Yellow Flash 2. Ethan did say Cyberfrog was a superhero book, but more 90s superhero. Yeah, that's a little bit more in the vein of what we're talking about with Writhe and Pain. Yeah, they're there. Obviously, Isom is the most, it gets the biggest numbers. Cyberfrog has made more money over the, but it had a much bigger head start. Isom will probably take over Cyberfrog in terms of money raised at some point in the near future. Oh, you're right, Micro. Let's not forget the best. Ella has a costume in the Looper Lucen issue. That is true, yes. When she dreams, she does see herself in that way. You are correct. That book is much more in the vein of a, yeah, more in the vein of a superhero, or at least with that bent. Definitely. All right. Fruit. Did you ever think you'd see me color a panel of fruit? I told you the fruit was important. Simply Green, I agree. I like that CG has a mix of everything. Something for everything, you know? Have I done all of them now? I think I have. So much fruit. What am I going to show here? I'll show you guys what I'm going to do with these. So that's going to become a mask. We need more gay Superman, Sailor Moon transformations. Well, if that's what you want, go out there and make it. Although I think someone already beat you to the punch. Just a word of warning. There's fruit, says Snarticom, but what about an assortment of fine cheeses? There's wine too. There's no cheese. But there is wine. Yeah, I did the same, KSS. I bought an assortment as well. Well, I read Spider-Man, so that's obviously superhero, but then I also really liked Ghost Rider, which was pretty different to all that. And then when I started reading the more cosmic stuff, that was different again. Which do you love more? Asked Snarkcom. Would you trade your Amazing Fantasy 15 for Roquefort's most valuable original art piece? Oh my god. That's a legitimate question. I don't think I could give up my Amazing Fantasy 15. It's too sentimental. You know, it's kind of the Grail book, you know? It's not just about money. There's only so few of those that even in existence. And I know that's obviously the same for Kenneth Roquefort art. But plus, it can make Yellow Flash jealous. Correct. Yeah, he totally got in touch with me after I did that stream where I showed that off. Most impressed. Every time I say that, Michael hates Kenneth confirms, says Mel. Every time I say that, someone who's usually a regular says, "What? You got that book?" Yeah, yeah. I've shown off that book a ton of times. Go dig it out again. You know, it's just thrown it on the pile somewhere. I don't even remember where it is. Never hate the Rocaforce. The Rocaforce is life. K-Rock. Who's the older man? Is that me? I knew it, says Guy for Redbank. That is a emaciated, wizened, sullen-faced, beast-draped Gilgamesh after his long journey from Uruk to Dilmun. I don't know. I say Dilmun, but who knows if that's accurate. So yeah, that's how I do it. I go from that to that with a brush, and I will, you know, at the moment it's just very what's it called? It's very, what do you call it? Local colors, just standard colors. So I suppose from that I end up with where can I show it? This. It's gonna come. It's gonna come. There we go. Yeah. Play around with the colors, get all the, you know, color grading right and everything, and we end up with something like that. So yeah, thank you. Mike, say it's him, says Snark. It'll give him hope. And it is you, Guy from Red Bank. Yes, that's you walking around in a lion's mane coat. Dill Moon, exactly. Yeah. Thank you so much for hanging out, guys. I am going to go inside. I am 13 and a half hours in. I'm going to have dinner. I'm going to record a short after dinner. I've already recorded it. I just need to edit it together. And then I will close out the night. I'll probably do some sketch cards tonight on the couch. It's a full day. It's a very full day. But the only way we're going to succeed in this game is to work and keep working. Save Nuggets, says Snarkcom. Well, I mean, he'll live, but his nuggets won't. If you enjoyed hanging out, if you liked the cut of my jib, you like what you were seeing there, you can support the campaign. It's live. 15 days left in the first 30. At the end of the first 30, I'm kind of decided now that these tiers with the ash cans will come down. I'll have a tier up that's just all the books together. And I'll probably add a tier that's all the books plus a t-shirt at a slight discount. But these head sketch ash cans will disappear. So you got 15 days left to grab them. Or if you have backed already, add a t-shirt. Add a puzzle. Make Mel happy. Play the painting wagon video. I don't have that. That's a Rob thing. I don't have that. What kind of life is that? Asked Snarkcom. It's the comic book life. I don't have the painted. I wish I did have the painted wagon video. It's a good video. I do have this one. All right. I'll see you guys later. I might see you over the next couple of days on a stream. If not, I'll definitely see you Wednesday, Thursday at some point. All right, guys. Bye.
Mojo, what have they done to you?